Long ago in Kyoto, the people of the city lived in fear and dread. Stories of a powerful ogre were being told. This ogre was said to haunt the Gate of Rashamon, and during the twilight hours he would leap out and grab any passing travellers. The travellers were never to be seen or heard from again. It was also told that not only did this ogre kill them, but he also ate them. Everybody in the area was scared to go near the gates, and no one dared go near them after the sun had set. During this time, a great general by the name of Raiko lived in the city. He was famous all over Japan as a brave and powerful warrior. Stories of him destroying a tribe of ogres who drank the blood of humans made him particularly famous. It was said that he cut off the head of the ogre chief. Raiko led a group of 5 knights of valor, and one evening the 5 knights were feasting and drinking much sake from their rice bowls. A knight named Hojo then told the group about a local rumour. "Have you heard this tale? It is said that at sunset each day a great ogre leaps out and takes anyone who passes by the gates of Rashamon." A knight named Watanabe scoffed him. "Total rubbish! General Raiko killed all the ogres in this area. It's only an old wives' tale. Even if any ogres had escaped, they would not dare to come near this city for fear of Raiko." "Oh, you don't believe the locals and what I say? Perhaps you should go there and find out the truth." Not wanting to appear fearful in front of his fellow knights, Watanabe answered quickly, "I will go at once. I have no fear. How shall I prove to you all that I've been there? I could just go and hide in a tavern for the night." One of the knights got out a piece of paper and wrote his name on it. He passed it around the group, and they all wrote their names upon it. "Nail this to the gate. This will prove to us all that you have been there." Watanabe nodded. "You shall see this in the morning. I may even have killed this ogre." He put his armour on and equipped his sword and shield, leapt onto his horse and sped into the night. The night was incredibly dark. The moon and stars were hidden by black clouds. As Watanabe rode down the path, lightning filled the skies and the heavens opened. Rain burst from the clouds and soaked him through. The winds whipped around him and his horse became uneasy. In the distance, he heard the door of the house his fellow knights were staying in slide shut. The knights sat around their fire in silence, wondering if their companion would ever be seen again. Watanabe arrived at the gates of Rashamon. He scoured the surrounding area, but could see no sign of the ogre. He chuckled to himself. "Just as I thought, an old wives' tale. I shall return and reveal the truth to Hojo." Watanabe attached the paper, which was signed by all the knights, to the gates and turned to walk back to his companions. As he did, he realized someone was behind him. A voice called out to him to wait. His helmet was grabbed from behind. "Who are you?" Watanabe yelled. Watanabe grabbed the back of his helmet and felt a huge, great, hairy arm holding on to him. Watanabe knew this was the ogre, so he grabbed his sword and slashed wildly behind him. A tremendous wail cried out in agony, and the ogre rushed to face the warrior. Now Watanabe could see the monster. The ogre was over 10 feet tall, covered in thick fur. Its eyes flashed with rage. With every breath the ogre took, flames could be seen leaving its mouth, and thick black smoke came from its nostrils. The ogre was trying to scare Watanabe, but the warrior did not move a muscle. He gripped his sword, and with all of his strength, Watanabe leapt at the monster. The monster and the warrior battled for many hours. Soon the ogre realized he could not defeat or scare away Watanabe. And scared he would be defeated, the ogre ran away. Watanabe knew he must defeat this great demon, so he leapt onto his horse and galloped after him. The knight rode very fast, but the ogre ran faster. He was unable to catch the monster as it ran out of sight. Watanabe gave up the chase and returned to the gate of Rashamon. He got off his horse and saw something on the ground. He bent down to pick it up, and he had found one of the ogre's arms. It had been cut off during the battle, and Watanabe, thrilled to find it, wrapped it up in a cloth and returned home to his companions to prove his victory. When he arrived home, he showed the ogre's arm to his companions, and they all praised him as a great warrior and hero. Soon the story of this amazing battle swept through the city, and people came from all over to see the ogre's arm. Watanabe became troubled. He knew that the ogre was still alive and was sure that it would return eventually to reclaim its arm. So he made a special box to store it in. It was made from the strongest wood available and was wrapped in iron straps to keep it secure. He sealed the lid and refused to open it for anyone. He kept it in his own room and would guard it day and night, never letting it out of his sight. One night there was a knocking at the door. Someone was asking to be let in. A servant answered the door, and she found an old woman standing there. The old lady told the servant that she had raised the lord of the house when he was young and begged to see him. The servant told Watanabe who was here. He thought it strange that she would visit at such a late hour, but the warm memories of being raised by this lady overwhelmed him, and he instructed the servant to let her in. The old lady came into Watanabe's room, and after the customary bowing, they smiled at each other. "It is good to see you again, young lord. Tales of your valor have swept around the city, and I became desperate to see you. Is the story true? Please show me the arm of the ogre." "I'm sorry, I cannot. But please, before I die, I must see the great trophy the child I raised has." Again, Watanabe refused. "The arm stays in the box. I do not show it to anyone under any circumstances. The box has been securely made. Ogres are vengeful creatures. If I open it, the ogre might appear and try to reclaim it." "Do you think I'm a spy for the ogre? I raised you as a child. I have only just heard of the tale. Do you really not trust me?" "No, I do not suspect you as a spy, but I must be cautious." "Show me. It is my one wish to see the arm of a mighty ogre." Eventually, Watanabe agreed and took her to the box. He opened the lid, and the old lady moved cautiously closer and closer. "I need a closer look." The old lady's face smiled with joy. She got so close to the box that she was touching it. Then, all of a sudden, her arm shot into the box and grabbed the ogre's arm. "My arm! My arm! I have my arm again!" she cried in joy. The old woman transformed into a huge ogre. Watanabe knew this was the ogre he had fought, and he briefly froze in fear. He snapped out of the fear, and he knew he had to kill the ogre once and for all. He grabbed his sword and tried to slash at the monster, but the monster was too fast, and it dodged out of the way. It sprang onto the ceiling and gave an almighty roar. It burst out of the roof and fled away into the night, never to be seen again.